am Stephané Conradie. I'm a Namibia and South African artist. We are in my studio at Michaelis School of Fine Art in Cape Town. This is where I lecture and also make my art. So my background is that I am Namibian South African, and that influences my making quite a lot because I often think of myself as in between the two places, but also that the two places are intrinsically linked. My use of objects have become a little burdensome because they're taking up quite a lot of space, but they also feel like maybe I'm at a conceptual and theoretical stalemate because I understand the objects as having agency, but they're quite concrete. And so I've turned to technique, which is eco-printing or plant printing, that looks at the more kind of invisible emissions that are maybe not obvious at first, but that plant matter has latent pigment and tannins that you see in the plants themselves, but once they're put into the eco-printing process in a pressure cooker environment, they emit color and tannins. My mother's family come from a group that call themselves the Basters, and Baster in itself is a kind of a negative term that was given to people during a settler colonialism, but this group has taken it on for themselves as a term that kind of defines their identity, and I think that that's quite interesting in terms of what I think about the ideas that I research in my practice, which is creolisation, and that is the sort of the fragmented, conflicting parts of a colonial past that people take and create their own kinds of cultural identities. And I think the Basters epitomize that kind of creation. I've embedded my practice in thinking about objects as having stories or narratives. I'm really interested in the sort of more kind of ephemeral ways in which you can harness certain plant matter and minerals into a kind of a concrete object and see how you can discuss much more than sort of the man-made, but how the natural environment is embedded in the man-made and how they cooperate and interact with each other. So those are kind of strange things, but it does have a lot of connotations to certain biomes in certain areas, like in Namibia and South Africa, and then also the mineral resources that are used in both areas that are used for both good and bad. So those are some thoughts on my practice at the moment.